So I want to talk about a comedy anime from 2010. Like, it literally came out in 2010, and it's a very hilarious out-of-pocket anime that makes a lot of like dirty jokes and stuff like that. It's one of those comedy anime. And the thing is about this anime is it had multiple different seasons, multiple movies, and a lot of OVAs, like 18 OVAs, and that is Seitokai Yakuindomo. Now this is an all-time comedy anime because it's very out-of-pocket. So this anime will remind you of Defrag, or the anime, you know, where a boring word where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist, the anime like that, because it literally just reminds you of that. And just know this one is very out of pocket. Sadly, it does not have a dub because, you know, with the script that is basically in this anime that they give you, it would be wild because they say so much wild stuff in the already sub, but it just sucks that it doesn't have a dub. But this is an older anime anyway. It came out in 2010. I mean, it's older now, of course, because that's like, you know, so many years ago now, but at the same time, you would think this would have a dub now, mainly because it's on High Dive, and then literally Sentai literally is the ones that put this out, and they've literally been like putting out a lot of dubs for other anime that they never had dubs back in the day, whatever. So you hopefully one day this gets it, because it would be hilarious if it did, because I know the dub cast could go crazy. But let's just talk about what Seitokai Yakuindomo is about. So it follows this guy named Suda who goes to this all-girls school because the school literally just opened up his first year, and they are finally allowing guys to be there. Trust me, he's not the only guy there. There's other guys are there, but the school is full with like a whole bunch of different girls and all that. And as his first day there, he's gonna have like his collar and all this like tie and all that like straightened up. So like the student council president, she approaches him, she's like, yo, your collar's not tightened up. And then he realized that not all seems right with the student council that's there, because you have the president there, and then you have the secretary, and then you have like the accountant that's there. And he's like, yo, something's off with them, because like they're making dirty jokes and saying a lot of wild out of pocket stuff. But eventually they're going to basically force him to join the student council, and he joins them. And throughout the anime, you're going to see like how he's basically the straight man that always has to say something. Every time they say something wild, he always has to be the one to be like, yo, what are y'all saying? Why are y'all saying this? Like, please stop saying this, because trust me, they get wild, like wild. This whole cast is wild. I was watching the anime and I was like, were they really just saying this? Now, a character that needs to get thrown into jail is the teacher. The teacher, she be on one. Like, I mean on one. Like, there's literally an episode when she is literally smashing out in the wilderness. Like, it's at a random park. She was like, yeah, I just got done smashing somebody. And there's a lot of wild, funny jokes in here. But the one joke that I love in here that's ongoing is, so there's a person in the student council. She's this little short girl. And, you know, usually the short characters that look like they're an elementary kid, you know, like whenever they have those in anime, you're like, why do they have this kid here that's clearly an elementary kid? But in this anime, they do a hilarious joke where every time she shows up, all we see is the top of her head, or like she's cut off completely, and they have like an arrow saying, oh, she's right here. So they just let us know like how short she is. And she's even self-aware that she looks like a little kid, because she literally like tries something on, and she's like, oh, I look like a little kid. And everybody in the anime always just like makes fun that she does look like a little kid. So I'm just like, hey, if you're gonna have that short little kid type of character, at least make it a joke instead of like, you know, something like from this season, Tiny Senpai, and it's like, dog, why? So like, that's why I really like that, because they have that joke, and it's an ongoing joke throughout the whole show. And then we have like a thing between like the president and the vice president, who is Suda, and just know there's like a little ongoing thing that always happens with them. And then you also have this person that I really love, and she's the newspaper club president, and like her name is Renko, and she's very wild because we see her just going any and everywhere to get a scoop, because she wants to get a scoop, because she wants to put a scoop in the paper to get all these people. And it's hilarious, some of the things she comes up with, or like some of the places she goes, because like in general, this anime is just so goddamn funny. I was rolling watching it because there's so many memorable characters. And you have Suda's little sister, Kotomi. She's very wild. Like, very wild. She's on the same wavelength of everybody else with some of the wild stuff. And then you have the Aria girl, who was like I think she's the secretary or something like that of the student council, whatever. And like, she's the rich girl. And she wears a chastity belt most of the time. And then she has a maid who is very out of pocket. Like, her maid is on one. Her maid was talking about, she's like, yeah, I got a cramp one time having, you know, sex and all that. And she's like, and the person thought I was a virgin, so it was better for them. And I'm just like, what? I was like, who says this stuff? It was just like, sometimes there's some of the jokes they say, I'm just like, dog, who says this? But it's hilarious, because they just be making all these random jokes. And sometimes it's just the most random things. And it's always so goddamn funny. But I really love this anime. And I need more people to talk about this, because one, it is an older anime, and majority of people that watch comedy anime, they know about this. But I had to watch it because I did get it on Blu-ray like from Sentai a while ago, and I watched it and I was dying of laughter. It is sucks that it doesn't have a dub, because I do think a dub would like even go crazier than the sub, but it's already really funny. But I think a dub would take it to a whole nother level because of how funny it is. So there's another character, there's another student council president that's from another school, and eventually she ends up like joining Suda's family because like of a marriage, and her name's like Chihiro, and she eventually joins like his family, and it's hilarious. She's like, oh, you gotta call me big sister now. So there's a lot of times where she just randomly appears at his house, and then you have the regular student council president. She's mad. She's like, yo, what is he doing here? Because there is like a kind of crush that the student council president has on the main guy. Kind of in general, there's a lot of girls that have a crush on him, because you have this one girl from the judo club where, like, when they first meet, you think she's about to ask him out, but then she's asking like, yo, can you help me make the judo club? But we also see that she does like him, and like she's like super innocent compared to everybody else. And then when we have like Suzu, who's like the little short blonde hair girl, her mom is literally on one, because her mom was literally in the park getting smashed by her dad. I'm just like, dog, what is happening here? So every character in this anime is just very odd. So there's one character I forgot to mention that we have to talk about. Her name's Nene, and she's from the robotics club, and like she's like the president or the leader of the club. And just know she's very wild, because just, you know, she's in the robotics club, and you know, she uses certain devices, and I mean, she keeps one device on her, and you could say inside her at all times. And if you know what women use, you know, to get turned on, you could say it's a certain type of vibration thing, a vibrator. We'll say she has a lot of those, and trust me, in the anime, she keeps one on her all the time. And the crazy thing is, in the opening, when it shows her section, they literally show them all right there, like everything, and it's just like, are we for real? Like, is this an anime? I'm like, am I watching this? I was like, this is actually an anime? Like, did they include this? Yes. It is. No, that's her whole character. Her whole character has that, and she's always going to mention some wild stuff. And there's always a scene when everybody's like, oh, Nana, you need to turn that off. And then she's like, oh, my bad, I didn't turn off my one thing. And yeah, they always show her turn off, and that's like the joke they have around her, and it's just wild, because I'm just like, are they for real right now with that? So yeah, that's the wild thing. And just know the opening alone, both opening for season 1 and 2 alone are very wild, and they show little wild out-of-pocket things in there. But her character was super wild. When they finally showed her at the end of season 1, I was like, oh yeah, this is that wild girl that's been in the opening, and we finally got to see her. But yes, she's very out of pocket. It is wild they had some of the stuff that she does in here. But in general, every character in here does something wild, and there's always some wild stuff. And there's like a whole ongoing gag of like during like Christmas time when everybody gave Suda, you know, one of them vibration things for Christmas, and it was hilarious because even Santa Claus gave him one. But yeah, this anime is so goddamn funny. But if you want to pick and choose all the characters, because trust me, they introduced new characters in the movies, and we saw like how wild they are. Yes, there are a few characters that are not wild, but majority of the cast, they're on one. And I mean, they're on one. If you've seen this anime, you know. Pocket. It's just funny as you see more and more of these characters, especially as you get introduced to more characters, because the first 2 movies that we literally get new characters in there. And it's just crazy that this series in general has 2 seasons, 2 movies, and then 18 OVAs. That is very surprising, because, you know, usually an anime like this, it might get 1 season and then, you know, like an OVA. But this one actually got 2 seasons, 2 movies, and 18 OVAs, which is very surprising. I mean, this guy, I guess it was probably like a very popular series, and that's probably why. And plus, this is hands down Studio Gohan's like best series, because I looked at everything they have, and there's nothing on there that's as good as this, because they have other series like that Kopi Lion one, which is pretty fire, but this is the only one I've seen there. They've had like multiple seasons they worked on, plus movies and other stuff like that. So this is most definitely probably their best anime that they made for their studio. So I was just surprising, and like I was like, wow. I was like, I guess they did make this. And it's just funny because if you've been watching that one anime from the season, The Girl That Forgot Her Glasses, you'll see in that like all the techniques they've been using for years, because like even in this one they've been using those pan and them angles for years, especially when it comes to like pan up to look at the school and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, really fire anime. If you've seen this, let me know how you feel about it. If you've not seen it, please check it out, because it's hilarious. You can watch, I'm pretty sure, season 1 and the first 2 movies on, or just like the 2 movies it has, I should say, on High Dive, or, you know, hop in your pirate ship, watch it that way too, though. But yeah, this anime is hilarious, and you'll be dying of laughter, and it had me rolling because there's so many wild out-of-pocket moments. The funny thing is, I was on the phone with my friend Nev while I was watching like a few episodes of this, and he was like, dog, what is happening in the background? And I'm like, dog, some wild shit is happening, and that what was happening, because like this is arguably the wildest anime I've ever seen, because of like some of the jokes they were making. And it's mainly because I think this has so much content compared to something else, like something you could say like Prison School and all the other ones where, like, you know, they do wild stuff. But this one just has so much content that it just makes it even wilder and wilder, and like how much is happening. And the dialogue, bruh, the dialogue alone makes this one of the wildest anime I've seen, because that dialogue they be having with each other, it'd be so wild. And especially when there's an episode when Suda's not there, and we just see the student council president and like other people around them just going crazy, because Kotomi like literally fills in for her brother because he goes on a trip, and we see how out of pocket they are, and it's like, bruh. But yeah, I really enjoyed watching this anime. I mean, I made a video on TikTok about it too, but I had to make a YouTube video because, like, dog, I've not seen an anime like this in a long time. It just had me dying of laughter like this because this one was so goddamn funny and so goddamn out of pocket. But yeah, if you buy anime Blu-rays, I'd recommend picking this up from the Sentai sale. Like, whenever the new Sentai sale comes, I'll say recommend picking that one up because, trust me, you will love it if you've not seen it though. But yeah, enjoy the video. Why not like? If you didn't, you could dislike, subscribe if you enjoyed. But if you've seen this anime, please let me know how y'all feel about it. If you've never seen it, please check it out because it will give you a laugh. Especially if you like comedy anime, then you'll really enjoy this one a lot though. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye.